Why AI can't stop lying. You probably think AI lies because it doesn't know enough. That sounds reasonable. But here's the weird part. The most advanced AI systems on Earth still make things up. They invent facts, create fake sources, and sometimes give completely wrong answers with absolute confidence. So why does this happen? Why would a technology powerful enough to write code, pass exams, and hold conversations still struggle with something as simple as telling the truth? The answer reveals something surprising about what AI actually is. And once you understand it, you'll never look at AI the same way again. Let's imagine something. You're writing a school project, you ask ChatGPT for sources. A few seconds later, it gives you a perfect looking list: author names, book titles, publication dates. Everything looks professional. You copy the sources, submit your work, then your teacher checks them and discovers something strange. None of the sources exist. The books were never published. The authors were never real. The AI completely invented everything. Now, here's the scary part. The AI wasn't joking. It wasn't trying to trick you. It genuinely presented the information as if it were true. So why would one of the smartest technologies ever built do something like that? To answer that question, we first need to destroy one of the biggest misconceptions people have about AI. Most people imagine AI as a giant digital brain or maybe a giant search engine. You ask a question, the AI searches through its knowledge, finds the correct answer, and gives it back. Simple. Except that's not what's happening. Not even close. In fact, this misunderstanding is responsible for almost all the confusion surrounding AI, because AI doesn't actually work like a search engine. It works more like the most advanced autocomplete system ever created. Think about your phone keyboard. When you type a word, it predicts what word might come next. Now, imagine that prediction system becoming millions of times more powerful. That's essentially what modern AI does. Every answer, every sentence, every paragraph is generated one word at a time. The AI looks at your prompt, predicts the most likely next word, then predicts the next one, and then the next, again and again and again, until it creates an entire response, which leads to a surprising realization. The AI isn't asking, "Is this true?" It's asking, "What word is most likely to come next?" And that tiny difference changes everything. This is where the mystery starts making sense. Imagine someone who has read almost the entire internet, millions of books, billions of web pages, countless conversations. Now, imagine asking that person to continue patterns, not verify facts, just continue patterns. That's what AI is doing. It has learned what language looks like. It has learned how facts are usually written, how articles are structured, how citations are formatted, how experts speak, how confidence sounds. But knowing what truth looks like is not the same as knowing what is true. And sometimes those two things are very different. When the AI doesn't know the answer, it doesn't stop. It doesn't say, "I have no idea." Instead, it continues predicting. And sometimes prediction creates fiction. The result is something researchers call a hallucination. A hallucination happens when AI generates information that sounds convincing, but isn't actually real. And because the response sounds natural, many people never notice. But here's the really strange part. Even when AI becomes smarter, the problem doesn't completely disappear. Why? Because the challenge runs deeper than most people realize. At first, the solution seems obvious. Just teach AI what's true. Problem solved, right? Not exactly, because truth is messy. The internet contains facts, but it also contains mistakes, rumors, opinions, outdated information, contradictions. Sometimes entire communities disagree about what is true. Sometimes experts disagree. Sometimes reality changes. Now, imagine training an AI using all of that information. The AI isn't learning from a perfect encyclopedia. It's learning from humanity, and humanity is complicated. Researchers have developed techniques that reduce hallucinations, fact checking systems, external search tools, special training methods, safety layers. All of these help, but none of them eliminate the problem completely because the AI is still fundamentally generating answers, not discovering objective truth from scratch. And that means uncertainty is built into the system itself, which leads to a bigger question. If AI still struggles with truth today, what happens when we start what happens when we start relying on it for more important decisions? Think about where AI is already being used: education, business, healthcare, customer support, programming, research. Millions of people interact with AI every single day, and that number is growing rapidly. The danger isn't that AI is always wrong. The danger is that it's often wrong in a very convincing way. Humans are naturally influenced by confidence. When someone sounds certain, we tend to trust them. AI knows how confident sounds, even when the answer is incorrect. That's why understanding this limitation is so important. AI can be incredibly useful, in many cases, incredibly accurate, but it isn't an all knowing machine. It's a prediction machine, an extremely powerful prediction machine. And once you understand that distinction, you begin using AI much more effectively. You stop treating it like an oracle and start treating it like a tool. Today, AI can write essays, generate images, create software, translate languages, and help millions of people solve problems every day. Yet it still occasionally invents facts, creates fake sources, and gets simple things wrong. Researchers are working hard to reduce these mistakes, and future AI systems will almost certainly become more reliable. But here's the question nobody can fully answer yet. If AI is fundamentally built on prediction, can it ever completely separate prediction from truth? Or is hallucination a problem that will always exist in some form? Because if today's AI can already do all of this, what happens when the next generation arrives?